Welcome to the Sales Whisperer Podcast, session 44. Is that manure I smell? Welcome to the 44th edition of the Sales Podcast. I'm Wes Schaefer, the Sales Whisperer, your host. Today, we've got Mr. Brian Madden, owner of Madden Brothers Mulch. He and his brother have owned this for a couple of decades, and he has a great story, great insight on not only how he started his business, how his family raised him and his brother to get things done and instill that work ethic in them, but he's got some great tips. He really opens the book on how he has doubled his profits in the last couple of years using traditional marketing, using things that you can do yourself right now to grow your own business. I've known Brian for a couple of years. He actually found me online. He was looking for some help with Infusionsoft and with his marketing. I referred him to some folks at the time to help with some SEO projects, with some web design. And we've been friends ever since. We've stayed in touch and about to help him launch a new venture, which we'll probably tell you about here in a couple of months. But Brian is a hardworking, honest, open book. And I think you'll really enjoy his story. But today, busting out the truth about Chuck Norris. I may have to refer to this book quite often. I was literally laughing out loud looking through some of the jokes. But hey, if someone asks Chuck Norris what his favorite song is, he roundhouse kicks them in the face until they beg for mercy. He then tells them that's music to his ears. You can never go wrong with a Chuck Norris joke. And as I have begun here since episode 41, remember that today is my day. I work diligently towards my goals, which are bigger than me. I bite off more than I can chew because only then will I truly know my current limits, and surpassing them becomes my new goal for today. Through education, accountability partners, and bold, decisive action, today will be better than yesterday, and tomorrow will be better yet. I'm ready to produce. So with that set up, let me introduce Mr. Brian Madden. Brian Madden, Madden Brothers, great mulch, great service, guaranteed. Welcome to the Sales Whisperer Podcast. How are you?
Thanks, Wes. I'm great. How are you?
I am good.
I appreciate having me on today.
Hey, thanks for taking the time. Well, I've known you for a couple years now, but I thought it was time. It was time to have Brian on the show.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, apparently. Look out.
So for those that don't know you, would you mind taking a second, give everybody a quick thumbnail sketch of Brian Madden?
Yeah, give you the Cliff Notes version. My brother and I own 6 compost facilities in Ohio, and we work with two others in Indiana. And we manufacture mulch, compost, topsoil, firewood, and then we distribute it, through our semis. We have semis where we truck material to city, state, colleges, you name it. And then we've got a fleet of tiny little dump trucks that will deliver 200, 220 orders on any particular Saturday in the months of April, May, and June to residents. So, 2-3 yards of mulch at a time. My brother and I got started in this. My parents were really big on, they wanted us to go to college. And if we want to go to college, we had to put ourselves through it. So in 1986, my parents gave us a pickup truck and a shovel and said, we know this farmer that has manure, and you can buy manure for $10 a truckload. And we think you should start peddling it to our friends and family to save for college. So that's literally how we got started.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, you're the mulch guy. Oh, yeah. I thought you were like this internet guru. We got to end this call, man.
So I guess that's the beginning, right?
Right.
And, we went about that for, 20 plus years. And my brother and I both went to college. We both left the business, worked for other people, other companies. It was just in our blood to work for ourselves. So we both came back to the business. And I'll be honest with you, Wes, about 4 years ago, I'm in my late 30s now. So in my early mid-30s, I wouldn't say that I was going through a midlife crisis, but I just wasn't enjoying what I was doing at the company anymore. Right. You can only run so many loads of mulch. You can only get so excited to run the front end loader so many times. And after you've done it for really darn near 20 years, it gets pretty mundane, right?
Right.
And I was at a point where I didn't know if I wanted to stay at the company or leave the company. And I knew one thing was for certain, was that I absolutely love marketing.
Right.
I've always had a passion for marketing. And I decided that before I left the company, that if I had an opportunity to do what I loved at the company that got me to where I'm at, that would be the best of both worlds. And so about 4 years ago, I started dipping my toe in the marketing water in the mulch industry. And it was, slowly but surely just started, I started reading stuff on, Dan Kennedy and David Ogilvy. And, I would come up with some of my own sales letters and do direct mail and try to do some lumpy mail. And, I was just doing it slowly but surely. And then a couple years ago, let's say 2 years ago, we were using a CRM. Well, we really weren't using a external CRM. We were using ACT as a contact manager. Right. And it was just hodgepodge. I had ACT on my computer and another rep would have it on his computer and they weren't linked up and it was just a hot mess. So I started looking into CRMs and I came across Infusionsoft. And I really loved what Infusionsoft had to offer. Initially, when I started looking at it, I thought it was more geared towards information marketers, not someone like myself.
Right.
But I just absolutely loved the capabilities within Infusionsoft. And so I probably waited another year and decided to jump in with both feet into an Infusionsoft account. Right. And so we've been using Infusionsoft to help market our mulch company now for a little over 2 years. And I can say that between the use of Infusionsoft and then also, the marketing that we do in general, it's just had a profound impact on our business. It's just literally in 2 years, it's a totally different company. It's night and day different.
So you're saying that marketing automation and old school sales letters actually help a brick and mortar compost business grow? Is that what you just said?
Yeah, I know it sounds so crazy, right?
But maybe Brian, my business is different. I'm in the mulch business. This stuff doesn't work.
Yeah, I know. And at first, Wes, the people in our industry, even to this day, I don't even care what the people in our industry think about me. But the people that I would talk to, they really did think I was goofy, right? So let me give you an example. You've probably heard of voice broadcasts, right?
Sure.
So I learned about voice broadcasts, and I decided I was going to try and send out a voice broadcast, right? My gosh, it was like my wedding day. I mean, I was so scared to send out this voice broadcast, right? And brother, I was not doing this onesie twosie. I mean, I had a list of 11,000 retail customers, and I wasn't trying it on 1,000. I was trying it on 11,000, right?
So much for sampling and A/B split testing. Just hit send. I love it.
No. We're doing it. And it's literally like that. You upload your list of 11,000, you record your message, and then you click send, and then you just wait for the phones to ring. So let me tell you exactly what I did and what the outcome was. It was in the month of August, which for us is a relatively slow month. We're coming to the end of summer. People aren't putting mulch down. The weather hasn't changed yet, so it's not cold. People aren't thinking about firewood. But I wanted to send a voice broadcast out there with a special offer on firewood. Now, typically in the month of August, we really don't even sell any firewood. So I put together a nice little offer. I mean, reading Dan Kennedy stuff, I learned all about, you have to have an expiration date. You have to have a nice offer, tell them about what you have, tell the features, the benefits, get them to buy in, right? It literally took me 2 days to write this 30-second voice broadcast. Yep. It probably took me another 2 days to record the darn thing. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was crazy, right?
Yep.
Anyways, so I record this little voice broadcast. I upload our list. I send it out. And it was all playing on firewood. Wouldn't you like to stack firewood when it's sunny and 70? Wouldn't you rather stack firewood when it's sunny and 70 than wait until November when it's sleeting and in the 20s?
Right.
Get your firewood this weekend, right?
Yep.
And, I'm a really big fan of personality-infused marketing.
Yep.
For a while there, I thought people were buying Madden Brothers products or services because of our logo, or they thought that we had all these locations or that we were some corporate. Yeah, that's a bunch of malarkey. In our industry, I think in most industries, come on, let's be honest, that's a bunch of malarkey.
Okay. So, those of us not in the Midwest, malarkey means poo-poo, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. I'm trying to keep this G-rated, right? I want you to have good iTunes ratings here. So at the beginning, I did some really goofy things. At the beginning of my voice broadcast, I recorded my kids playing. They didn't even know it. I recorded them playing, laughing, and screaming. And at the beginning of my voice broadcast, I played that really loud, and then I faded it out. And then I said, kids, quiet, Daddy's on the phone, right? And then I recorded my message. But then I also said, listen, my big brother's out of town this weekend, and I'm going to have this sale while he's out of town, because when he gets back, the whip is going to be out, and he's not going to let me offer sales. I really did. So I sent this voice broadcast out in a month, Wes, where we do no firewood sales, right? I sent it out to literally about 11,000 people. And within 3 days of sending out that voice broadcast, we had generated a little over $8,000 in firewood sales in a month that we sell zero firewood. Now, just coincidentally, that weekend, so I sent out like on a Thursday or a Friday, and the offer expired on Sunday. That weekend, I was at one of my little kids' soccer games, right? And two of the parents came over to me, and they were teasing me. Oh, how cute! I heard that little message that you sent out. And I'll be honest, that was my first time that I had sent one out, so I was a little bit embarrassed by it, right? Like, I don't know. I felt uncomfortable when they first approached me about it.
Right.
But now, 2 years after the fact, you really have to be careful with voice broadcasts, because those can be pretty darn intrusive.
Right.
But now, every time I send out a voice broadcast, I have the biggest grin on my face, because I don't think I've ever sent out one voice broadcast to our list of 11,000 people that hasn't brought me in at least $5,000 within 2 to 3 days.
Right.
So although they think it's cute and funny, and look at Brian Madden trying to do some funny new marketing, I'm crushing it, brother. I'm making deposits into my checking account.
There you go.
So, and that's what it's all about for us.
Well, it's interesting, right? Because we can all think of somebody that comes to mind that markets like that, growing up, maybe even currently. I grew up in Houston. And I still remember, I think it's called Mattress Mac, and he at the end of every one of them, he would pull out a wad of cash. He goes, "We will save you money," And when I go back to visit, I was back, a few years ago for like my 20th or whatever reunion, and this dude he drives a Rolls Royce, right? And he's got these big old shopping, stores just on the side of the freeway and lit up, But when it comes time for you to be Mattress Mac, save you money, it's like, oh no, this is below me, and people won't think it's funny. It's hard, right? I love how you talk about that. It's hard at first.
It really was. Yeah. And I'll be honest with you, Wes, it wasn't just hard in that. It was hard in everything. Sending out my first email broadcast through Infusionsoft, I was just petrified, right?
Yep.
In Infusionsoft, I'm watching the open rates. I'm watching the people that would mark it as spam. And, so like I send out 2,000 emails and 3 people mark it as spam. And,
right.
I'm like looking up those people, and I want to know where they live and their history with us.
I do the same thing.
You like get offended.
Like, what do you mean spam?
Yeah, what are you talking about? This is good stuff that I'm sending to you, But I think the personality-infused marketing has gone a long way with our company. Right. I'll give you another cheesy example. It was last March. We at the beginning of March, we had some really great weather. It's in the 60s and 70s. And then right towards the end of March, we got like a cold snap, and we got like 4 inches of snow, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I have about 2.5 acres where I live, with a heavily wooded lot. We're kind of like the country bumpkins, if you will. And I have a SUV, not an SUV, a utility vehicle. It's called a John Deere Gator, right?
Right.
So you get inside this Gator. It's got a steering wheel and you drive it. Well, when we get snow, I throw my kids behind the Gator on their sleds, and I take them sled riding around the yard, right?
Yep.
I pull them. So while I'm driving around on the sled, driving the kids around, I whip my iPhone out and I take a cheesy little video of them sled riding behind the gator, right?
Yep.
Well, I take that video, I upload a link, I make a picture of the video, I put it into Infusionsoft, I send out an email about the Madden family is hillbilly sled riding, right? and I literally have like a 2-minute video that is up on YouTube that when you click on the image in the Infusionsoft email, it takes you through to the YouTube video. And down at the bottom, like after it says, warmly Brian Madden, I have like a little blurb in there. Hey, by the way, give us a buzz in the next 7 days and we'll sell you your mulch for 2013 at 2012 prices because we really hadn't raised our prices yet.
Right.
And that one cheesy little email to 2,500 customers literally brought in like $12,000 in a week. Mm. And they like that family thing. Like to this day, Wes, I still have people that tell me, "Oh my gosh, I saw your kids and it's so cute. I see them hillbilly sled riding." And maybe because now I know that I'm not an information marketer, but I'm like on that inner circle now. I see how things work, right?
Right.
When I get an email from somebody, I look at it and I know right away whether it's a broadcast email or not, right? But the way that Infusionsoft lets you customize the email templates, I mean, these people, they really do think, like, I'm sending them this email, right? Like, hey, Wes, I'm thinking of you. What are you doing today? Take a peek at this video. I have my kids hillbilly sled riding, right? And these people, like, when I send out 2,500 emails, it's like a full day job for me in the next 24 hours responding to the people who are replying to my email to them.
Right.
But I mean, it's like we're creating it's like we're creating raving fans.
Right.
So, and it's all through the marketing that we do.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, let's go back to your beginning. Because I have teenage sons, and I'm torn. Right? I grew up working hard. I mean, we lied about my age. I was a big, tall kid. And so I was bagging groceries a year earlier than I should have. Playing football. I remember one time we growing up in Houston, right, played a team in Dallas. And I was one of probably 5 kids that had to ride the bus back because I had to be at the store at 6 a.m. to mop the floors because we had to mop from 6 to 8 to get the store ready when we opened at 8, right? And like my kids, they got it easy, right? They have some chores and they complain about doing dishes. I'm like, really? Let me take my belt off, boy.
Yep.
But I mean, you were in high school when your parents had y'all get started doing the composting?
Actually, it was even before that. So they gave us our first pickup truck when my brother was 16. So I was 11 years old at the time, right? And we were running our business out of my parents have a pretty big property, 15 acres, and they have a big barn. And so we were running the business out of their barn. And the office that we set up was literally in my walk-in closet in my bedroom. Uh-huh. And I mean, there were like no Saturday morning cartoons for my brother and I when we were kids. In fact, we laugh about it to this day. My dad is an amputee. He lost his leg in a car accident, right? And he has a wooden leg. Yep. And I know this is a clean show, but sometimes my dad's a little bit porky. So with that wooden leg, we call him shit on a stick. But the funny thing is with my dad's wooden leg, when my brother and I lived at home, the hinges on the leg made this like clicking sound, right? Right. And I remember vividly Saturday mornings, it would be 6 o'clock in the morning. And, we would be out with our friends or they'd be over our house until late at night. Saturday morning, you'd hear my dad's wooden leg clicking down the hallway to wake my brother and I up to get us moving. I mean, my mom always says, you can't let your meat loaf. Yep. And they ruled with an iron fist in our house. Mm-hmm. Initially, the way my brother and I got started is really we were delivering flyers door to door. We didn't use a printing press or anything like that. Initially, we literally would get like the Sunday newspaper, the Sunday Cleveland Plain Dealer, and we would cut words out of the Plain Dealer from the headlines and create flyers by, I guess, typesetting, if you will, almost, right? Yep. And in 7th grade, I would come home from school and my mom would take me to what we thought would be a good development to sell mulch or compost to. She'd drop me off and I had like a newspaper bag and a skateboard and I would deliver flyers door to door after school many days a week.
Yep.
And that's when I was 11 years old. And then I'll never forget when the phones would ring at our house. My mom and dad are really big into gardening. They've got a huge garden. And my mom would say, Brian, when that phone rings, you answer it, and you be so polite to those people. And I don't care what you sell them. You can sell them tomatoes out of your mom's garden. You don't let them hang up until you've sold them something. So, I guess it's the way we were raised. It's in our blood. It's what we do.
Oh, you mean you didn't just put up like a Twitter account and say, hey, everybody, come buy some mulch from me when you were 11?
Oh, my gosh. I wish I could do that right now. It would just be a miracle. But
it takes more than the Twitter account and a big smile to build a business that lasts?
Wow, it's crazy. I wish it were that easy. And I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, I listen to some of these self-proclaimed internet marketing gurus myself, and I'm scratching my head, right? Yep. But I know that my brother and I have busted our butts for 25 years now to get this business to where it's at. Right. And so we operate by like four basic principles, right? Show up on time, do what you say you're going to do, finish what you start, and always say please and thank you.
Yep.
And I think if you can apply those four things to anything in life, and they're going to get you somewhere.
Right.
My brother and I offer absolute world-class customer service. I mean, we do some of the most zany things. I had a customer this past year, Wes. You have, and we deal with a little over 3,000 retail customers a year, right?
Yep.
So in 3,000 customers, you're going to have some people complain. We had a customer complain this year about topsoil, and he said that our topsoil had rocks in it, and all topsoil has some rocks in it. But anyway, I wasn't going to fight it with him. Well, there's no reason to fight over it, right?
Right.
So let's make this guy happy. So I asked him, Mr. Smith, what do you want me to do? And he said, well, I want this topsoil out of my yard. And I said, it's no problem. I'll have guys over there in the next hour. We'll get the topsoil shoveled up. But I said, what are you doing with the soil? He said, I'm planting a garden. And I said, okay, well, what other places did you call around? And he said, well, I talked to XYZ, your competitor, and they seem to have really nice topsoil, but they were just too expensive, right? So I literally sent two guys over to Mr. Smith's house. We removed his 4 yards of topsoil out of his driveway. And then I went to my competitors and bought their topsoil at regular retail prices, and I delivered it to my customer. Mm-hmm. Because I want him to see that we're trying to do the right thing, right? And I don't publicize stuff like that. It's not like I put it all over our Facebook page or our Twitter account or, beg and plead for a testimonial. The guy, I don't. That stuff comes naturally,
right,
when you do the right thing.
So what'd that guy say?
He was absolutely dumbfounded. I mean, he just couldn't believe it. I believe he was one of the guys that wrote a really nice Yelp review for us.
Right.
Had another guy this past year. There was a little bit of a mix-up on his firewood. And, I mean, we just did Wes, it's not hard to do the right thing. You know what the right thing is. I tell my kids all the time, I have four kids. I have a 10-year-old, an 8-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a newborn. And I tell my kids all the time, feel it in your gut. Just, you know if it's right or wrong. Feel it in your gut.
Right.
And if your gut is telling you it's the wrong thing, it's the wrong thing.
Right.
And so, that's really how we train our customer service agents in the office to handle these complaints.
Right.
There's not like some boilerplate response that we have when someone calls in to complain about something. We just do the right thing. And we go overboard. Like, we probably give too much. Mm-hmm. But we're not going to jeopardize our great reputation over, 5 yards of mulch or 2 yards of top. So it's just not worth it.
Do you ever tell them no?
It depends on what their complaint is or how often they complain. Right. We keep track of everybody that has a complaint. 3,000 customers last year. We serviced, I think it was like 3,189 customers. And out of those 3,000 plus customers, we had 34 complaints, right? Okay. I really do watch those 34 complaints. They're tagged appropriately in Infusionsoft. Okay. And the first thing that I do every year, Wes, at the beginning of the year, typically in April, I'll send a handwritten note out to those customers that complained last year, and I'll also give them a call on the phone. Okay. Just trying to gain them back to regain their confidence in us. Right. If we deliver to them again and there's another problem, I do the best that I can to make that problem right, but then at the end of the day, I let them know that I just don't think that we're a good fit for one another.
Right.
And that it's probably in their best interest to find another supplier.
Right.
I mean, we're not going to be taken advantage of.
Right. Yeah, because that's tough.
It is.
Because we'll give somebody a couple of extra hours here and there. Like I was just talking with Denny just before you and I got on the phone, and a training session that she was doing did not record.
Right.
And she's just really struggling. She doesn't want to do it. She hates doing the recordings, and she already did it once. And it's like, you know what? I'll go do that. Right. I'll make some little short videos and help them.
Yep.
But I've had others that I have fought, that want to beat me up for a chargeback on services we delivered, and I'm like, oh hell no.
Yeah, it's crazy, and too. It's the good and the bad of social media these days.
Yep.
Because wow, I mean, they get on social media and they plead their case, and it gets crazy,
Mm-hmm.
And we try to combat that the absolute best and as professionally as we possibly can. I mean, we have a Google review that I've been fighting for about 1 year and 3 months right now.
Right.
It was from a gentleman that I hired to deliver flyers for us, literally door-to-door flyers around Christmas time. And we do what we say we're going to do if you do what you say you're going to do. The long and short of it is that he needed to hand in certain paperwork in order for our controller to cut him his check.
Right. And
he didn't hand in his paperwork, but he wanted to collect his check.
Right.
So when his check wasn't ready and he reached out to me and said, I need my check, yada, yada, I told him, the pay cycle is done. You're now going to have to wait until next week.
Right.
And he was furious. And his Google review of us indicates that.
Right.
But you read his review and then you read the other ones that are on there, and you can just see that, there's just something that's not right there.
Yeah.
But you have to be careful. You have to be careful about that. You have to be cognizant of that stuff because people definitely use it. It definitely impacts their decision on whether they're going to do business with you or not.
Right.
Yeah.
So what are you doing now that's working in your business? I mean, you have your personality-infused marketing, which is fantastic. Is social media helping at all? Have you found anything that works?
No, you know what? For the past 2 years, Wes, I have really been focusing more in on direct mail, SEO, PPC, our website, and I haven't done much with social media.
Right.
We've just started trying to post more to our Facebook and Twitter accounts recently.
Right.
I've been studying up a lot this winter on some social media marketing tactics that I think I'm going to implement.
Right.
But right now we're just crushing it in some of these other areas. And what I want to make certain, I want to make sure that the other areas that we do the marketing in that work are completely systematized, right?
Right.
Like last year, we did $442,931 in email sales, right?
Okay.
So a little under $500,000 in email sales. I want to make darn certain that system is buttoned up, because what I don't want to do is forego that $500,000 this year chasing some bright, shiny object called social media that's going to generate $20,000 or $30,000, and my email sales are going to drop through the floor. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So right now I'm really trying to shore up these other areas just to make sure that they're completely systematized before I do chase that next bright, shiny object.
All right. So for those that may not be familiar, SEO is search engine optimization. That means getting your website tagged properly, images named properly, using good keywords so people find you.
Yep.
Yeah, and PPC is pay-per-click. So that's your Google AdWords. That's the top and the right-hand side on searches.
Right.
So what are you using any tools in the SEO realm? Are you just doing basic, fundamentals? Or have you found anything that helps you there?
Right now, Wes, we work with another company that's helped us to optimize our existing site, to optimize it for SEO, right? And then, as I mentioned to you a while, well, maybe it was a week or so ago, I'm a big fan of hiring professionals to help you achieve your desired results sooner, right?
Sure.
I could burn the midnight oil trying to learn about the latest and greatest PPC and ad network and click-through rates and conversions and all of that good stuff, right?
Right.
But I'm afraid it's going to distract me from my core business, which is not pay-per-click campaigns. So we go out to the market and we try to find the best of the best to help us in these areas, right? And I'm fortunate to have found somebody that has just crushed it for us with our pay-per-click account, the Google pay-per-click campaigns.
Right.
And, they're doing a heck of a job for us. And last year, our website directly, so we're tracking conversions that come through our Google pay-per-click ads, right?
Yep.
Last year was $668,613.
Okay.
And people say, well, isn't it expensive? Well, isn't it expensive relative to what? Right? It would be very expensive if I did $600,000 in sales and it cost me $900,000 to get those $600,000.
Right.
Yes, that would be very expensive. But on the flip side of it, these the pay-per-click ads that we have out there and the sales funnel that we lead the people through, it just crushes it for us. And no, they're not outrageously expensive. On some of the keywords, we're paying up to $1 a click, which might sound like it's a lot of money, right? But on some of those keywords that we pay $1 a click for, our average sale is $600, right? Right. So we vigilantly watch the click-through rates. I think it's important to always watch your marketing dollars to see what's working best and what's not.
Right.
We own right now, I think 27 phone numbers. And we got into this at a time where all of these internet phone numbers that you could get for literally like $1 a month, they weren't available just yet. So we bought an IP phone system. Right. But if I send a letter out next week, a direct mail piece, I have a tracking phone number that's on there, right? Right. So the day of when people call in the office and you say, "Oh, excuse me, Mr. Schaefer, can you tell me where you got our number from?" Mm-hmm. You don't need to do that, right? And the way that we do it cost us some money to buy the IP phone system, but you can do it right now with stuff like callfire.com or callloop.com, right, where you can literally get a phone number from them for $1 a month, right? Right. Put that ad on whatever your marketing piece is. Right. We put different phone numbers in different pay-per-click campaigns so that we can track when the people click the ad on their smartphone and they call that phone number. Yep. We want to see which ad converts better. Sure. And you really have to, you got to watch all this stuff. Well, so there's a lot of moving parts that go on, but people drive me crazy when they're just convinced that, oh, I got this really great phone number and I put that phone number on everything, right? Mm-hmm. That's just
you don't know what works.
That's like the way that my dad used to do business.
This is not your dad's phone number.
Yeah.
Well, so you said a few things there, going back to, your keywords up to $1 a click, average sale $600. People don't realize the lifetime value of a client, right? Because these people, they could buy from you every year for the next 25 years.
Yes.
And so you spent $1. All right. So let's say, I don't know, 20 people clicked to make that one sale. So it costs you $20 to make a $600 sale today. But that person will never click that $1 link ever again. Probably not. Right. Because now they know who you are. Now they're getting your marketing.
Well, I was just going to say, and the reason that they're not clicking that link again, Wes, is because of our marketing. Right. Right. And when I say our marketing, I don't just mean email marketing, right? Like I know email marketing it's really great and it's worked out amazingly well for us, but that's just one piece to the puzzle, right? So I'll give you an example. You order 5 yards of mulch from Madden Brothers. The day before, immediately after you place your order, you get an email from us, you get a copy of your invoice, and you get like a welcome to the family email, right? Yep. Then the day before your mulch is delivered, you get an email from us that's like, what to expect when you're expecting ... mulch, right? So it tells you, like what you should do, weeding your beds, putting down weed pre-emergent, edging, all that good stuff, right?
Yep.
And then the day after you get your mulch, you get is everything okay email.
Yep.
Did you have enough? Do you need more? How does it look?
Yep.
2 days after you get your order, you get a voice broadcast from us that's like, hey, Wes, actually it doesn't mention their first name. It'll be like, hey, this is Brian from Madden Brothers. Thanks so much for ordering that mulch from us this past weekend. I hope the order went great. We really appreciate your feedback. It's crucial to the ongoing success of our company. We'd love to hear from you. If it's a live call, press 1 now and you'll be transferred to my personal voicemail. Let me know what you think, right?
Sure.
We're capturing voice testimonials that way. Mm-hmm. Right now, we probably capture 3 of those a day, right?
Wow.
So we do that. When we deliver your mulch to your house, we deliver you a nice little bag that has our logo printed on the outside of it, and then on the inside of the bag is a copy of your receipt, and then a cookie. Every year we do a cookie. This past year, the cookie was in the shape of a wheelbarrow, right? And it's outlined. It looks like it's full of mulch. The mulch is brown. The wheelbarrow is yellow. It has a black tire. I mean, it looks like a real deal, right? The cookie costs us $2.
Mm-hmm.
And then inside that, with the bag, we put in 2 vouchers. It's like mad money. There's like a picture of me with my brother in a headlock, and it's like a $20 voucher, right?
Yep.
So we give you $40 off, and there's a tight expiration date on it. And then you get an email telling you, hey, here's a list of some people that you could give those vouchers to. So we're encouraging you to give these vouchers to your friends or family, right?
Yep.
Now, here's the other cool thing that we're starting this year. Depending on the size of your order, if you order $350, I think this year's going to be $350 or more from us. We use things up here. I mean, a lot of people use pitchforks to shovel mulch around. We use these things called mulch shovels. It's a big aluminum shovel that you'd see like at Home Depot, right?
Sure.
Well, at Home Depot, it's a nice aluminum shovel. It's got an oak handle, and then it's got like a rubber a D-grip that you put your hand on. And on that handle, it's burnt into the handle. It usually says like True Temper, right?
Right.
Well, we got hooked up through Alibaba.com, and we ordered 1,000 of these shovels.
Oh, my gosh.
And on that shovel, it says Madden Mulch with another tracking phone number, right? Mm. Now, at Home Depot, those shovels sell for like $38.
Yep.
And we didn't spend $38 for these shovels because we ordered 1,000 of them, right?
Yep.
I know darn well that if I deliver you $350 worth of mulch, a lot of times our customers aren't home. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to put the shovel in their mulch pile, and we're going to tape their thank you bag off of the handle of the shovel, right? Mm-hmm. 1, you're going to use that shovel when you spread your mulch. 2, when you're done with that shovel, you're not going to throw it in the garbage.
Sure. You're
going to hang it in your garage. And next year, when you want to order mulch, you're not going to think to yourself, oh, I better Google mulch again this year. You're going to think of that shovel in your garage, right?
Yep.
But then we obviously have follow-up sequences so that, like 11 months after your order's placed, you get an email from us and another voice broadcast. I mean, we try to do as much automation as we possibly can.
Yep.
And it just works wonders.
Yeah,
but it's a combination. It's a combination of a lot of stuff between direct mail and emails and voice broadcasts and good old customer service.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So have you been able to track the lifetime value of a client? I mean, are you seeing 50% return, 80% return?
Yeah. Right now, we're seeing a little over a 70% return rate on our existing customers.
Wow.
And the lifetime value of one of our customers is really nice, especially, a lot of our customers buy mulch and firewood from us. Right. I mean, that doubles their lifetime value in our eyes, right?
Right.
So, when we get a new customer, our goal is to keep them as a customer for life.
Yeah.
And they're a lot less, they cost us a lot less money in the long run keeping, and appeasing an existing customer as it does to going out there and trying to find a new one.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, we have some pretty neat little mousetraps to get new customers coming in the door too.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Yep.
Give us one.
A little known program that I think not enough brick and mortar businesses, mom and pop shops use is the U.S. Postal Service Every Door Direct program.
Uh-huh.
So I used to literally have 15 employees, Wes, that would do nothing but deliver flyers for me door to door.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. Yep. And with them delivering the flyers for me, based on the number of flyers that they could deliver per hour and what I was paying them, it was costing me about 24 cents per flyer for them to hand it out, right?
Okay.
And you don't even know if they're really handing those flyers out. Heck, for all you know,
Sure.
they're pitching them in the garbage.
Yep.
Half the time I drive down the streets that they were delivering them to, and I'd see my flyers blowing down the street, right? But you're legally not allowed to put those in the mailboxes.
Right.
So I got it hooked up. I applied for our retail indicia with the U.S. Postal Service, which sounds complicated. It's not. I mean, you could have it done in 10 minutes.
Right.
And I got the indicia. And I use the Every Door Direct program to send out flyers now. Right. You're only allowed to send out 5,000 flyers per zip code per day, right? So I couldn't canvass the entire city of Cleveland in one day. It would take me a couple days to do that.
Right.
But the U.S. Postal Service guarantees delivery of your flyers, and they do it for 16 cents a piece.
Wow.
And the cool thing about it, Wes, is that the way that the postman delivers mail, our flyer, a lot of times, is the first thing on the top of your mail stack when you go to your mailbox. So it's like not lost in the shuffle. And I don't need to tell you now, with as much as people are trying to do social media and online marketing, your mailbox is like empty these days, right? So you get more attention by having something in people's mailbox. And I know they talk about, the U.S. Postal Service having some issues, but I haven't seen anybody out there chopping down their mailboxes recently. I mean, they're not going away anytime soon. So we're going to take advantage of those things.
Sure.
And so last year we used the Every Door Direct, U.S. Postal Service Every Door Direct program. Is it as easy as just sending a flyer out there? No, it's about the message on your flyer. What does the flyer say? It's the market that you're targeting, the offer that you have, the expiration date. When we do flyers, we don't do one of them. The minimum that we do is a 2-step sequence. I really like to do 3- and 4-step sequences.
Yep.
Dan Kennedy has direct mail sequences that he has sent out 17 times.
Right.
And he says, people ask him, what's the optimum number of times that you send it out? And Dan will tell you, you send it out until it stops making you money.
Right.
I mean, why not?
Yep.
So really the minimum that we do is 2. A lot of times we do 3. But last year through the Every Door Direct flyers that we sent out, we did $71,000 in mulch and firewood sales last year.
And how much do you think you spent on that every Door Direct?
Oh, peanuts. In total, less than $5,000-$6,000. Mm-hmm. And the printer that we hooked up with to print these flyers for us,
right?
Initially, I made the mistake. We were using like Staples, right?
Oh.
Yeah, I know. And so Staples was like 6 cents a piece or something.
Oh, they're brutal.
Well, I got hooked up with this printer that's doing double-sided, 4-color, blah, blah, blah. I mean, these things are like beautiful. Like they belong in Time magazine, in my opinion. I'm a little biased, right? But he's doing them for like 3.5 cents a piece.
Right.
So, we're just crushing it with that.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, man, you have given us some fantastic little nuggets. Where can people find you, and how far will you deliver? Will you drive a truck from Ohio to sunny Southern California and give me some mulch?
Wes, do you remember my mom told me when you get them on the phone, you could sell them anything? I don't care if it's tomatoes out of your mom's garden.
All right. So you're saying you can, but it might cost a little extra?
Yeah. Yep. So let me just mention this, right? I absolutely have a profound passion for marketing. Right. And I truly love the industry that I'm in. I love the mulch and firewood industry. Yep. I think that industry is completely underserved by great marketing professionals like yourself. And so what I'll mention right now is that long term, and hopefully that's like in the next 12 months, my goal is to start reaching out and help the firewood and mulch industry transform their businesses like I did, right, through great marketing practices.
Right.
So you can definitely find out about mine and my brother's mulch business. You can check us out at maddenbros.com.
Right.
And I'm starting to work on a few of the marketing channels that I'm putting together for the mulch and firewood industry. And so for right now, if you want to reach out to me or you'd like to have me chat with you briefly, about your brick and mortar business, you can find me directly at Brian Michael Madden, my middle name, BrianMichaelMadden.com.
I did not even know you had that. Very cool.
Yep.
All right. Well, Brian Michael Madden. Okay, one last question. So, so Bob's your older brother, right?
That is correct, sir, yeah.
How do you have him in the headlock on your picture there?
And you know what?
A judo ninja wrestling guru?
And he's such a character, too. Every time my brother and I together, when we meet somebody new, he always has to ask them, which one of us do you think is the older brother? Because I literally have like a full head of gray hair, right? And he has like 3 gray hairs. I always tell people that it's a sign of wisdom to try and strike him down. But everybody thinks my brother's a younger brother. Yeah. Well, so he deserved that headlock that he's in.
There you go. You got him. So everybody check it out, MaddenBros.com. You'll see Brian putting a whooping on Bob.
You got it.
Well, man, thanks for taking the time. This was fantastic.
Thank you, Wes.
All right. Have a great day.
Talk to you soon.
The mulch marketer has spoken. So funny. Brian and I were texting this morning. I'm doing the post-production the day after the interview, and we just came up with that name, the mulch marketer. He better have bought themulchmarketer.com. If he doesn't, I told him I would buy it and sell it to him for $18,000 and 10% every year thereafter. Hope you were paying attention in the very beginning, especially if you have kids, especially if you ever think you will have kids. Tough love is a good thing. There's an old adage that they call it from rags to rags in 3 generations. What they mean is, somebody makes it big, and then within 3 generations, they're poor again because they want to make things easier on their kids than they had it, right? But sometimes the struggles are what build the character and the fortitude and the commitment, the dedication to see things through and to achieve. My wife's about to have our 7th baby, and this will be the first one has to have a cesarean because of some issues we've had with miscarriages and whatever. But, they talk about the benefits to the baby. I mean, stuff from the mom, but the benefits of going through the birth canal with how it helps push fluid out of the lungs. And I'm not an expert, but there's a reason for the struggle of labor and going through that birth canal. So I equate that similarly to life. The struggles make you tough. It made Brian and his dad, or Brian and his brother, tough. He tells some stories about his dad walking up with the creaking hinge on his wooden leg. They pushed him out there, and his mom said, "Go sell something. Be nice, be polite, and sell them something." If you follow that advice, you will succeed in business, regardless of what business you are in. If you need some help getting better at selling, check out 30daysalesgrowth.com. That is a compilation of the advice and the strategies and the tactics I have implemented over the years, ever since being in sales full-time in 1997. It's a $97 program, but if you enter the promo code podcast, all lowercase, podcast on checkout, you get 30% off. So visit 30daysalesgrowth.com, promo code podcast, save 30%. I hope this podcast has helped you. I hope that program helps you. If you would like to get updates on different programs I'm offering, sign up for my Weekly Whisper. It's at weeklywhisper.com. It's free to sign up, free to opt out. So please check that out. And as always, leave a 5-star review on iTunes, leave some comments here on this podcast, and share it with a friend. And as always, remember to sell different.